Hello everyone, extended faculty, council, and publications. We are here today because we're going to discuss accomplishments in Senate this year, and because we're going to hear about a new agenda the Senate is taking on regarding the issues of stress in Newton South. There are going to be two parts to today's meeting. The first one is going to be a speech by Jack Lovett, Senate President, and the second one will be a question and answer period between the members of the audience and the senators you can see here. So without further ado, here's Jack Lovett with a speech about stress and the initiatives we are going to take.
We like to keep it professional around here. Hopefully it doesn't border on the silly. Mr. Vice President, Mr. Secretary, senators who are here, Mr. IC, Mr. Sembridge, and Public Lions Roar. Well, thank you all for coming. I'm here to speak today on an issue that affects all students in Newton South High School. First, I want to briefly speak on what the Senate has been focusing on so far this year. This past September, during the inauguration of this session of the Senate, I spoke of continuing the work we began last year of improving student government in Newton South and improving our community as a whole. I put forward a great community program, which, like last year's New Frontier program, focused on two important aspects: internal reform and school improvement. So far, we together have made good on much of that day's promises. Many of those reforms have become official Senate policy, from the new 70% minimum attendance rate to the Executive Reorganization Act, which we are continuing to make student government South more effective practically every week. In the community outside this lecture hall, we are making good on our promises too. We're moving ahead on all the initiatives we set out to accomplish at the beginning of this year. Money has been raised and will continue to be raised for our Equal Opportunity Initiative. Our recycling program will be implemented within 2 weeks. Our Commons Beautification Initiative is about to hit the ground running, and legislation is in the works in our parking and grade transparency committees. But it was approximately 2 months ago when I realized how little time I have left as our school Senate President. We may have a semester left of school, but as I'm sure my fellow senators know, time really flies when it comes to the work we do here on the Senate. So with about 100 days left as your Senate President, I want to make every single day count. And it would be anathema for me to sit still until my last day of semester, merely looking back at everything we've done so far in my presidency. So that's why I wanted to devote the rest of my presidency in the Senate to creating the real change we've been working towards since I first became president almost 2 years ago. And while I will continue as president to work towards accomplishing our many initiatives that are already on the table, I think it is high time that we put one initiative front and center as our primary goal. And that initiative is our anti-stress initiative. Stress is not an abstract concept or some feeling we experience from time to time. It is a serious concern. We see it in the presence of caffeine in nearly every classroom of our school. I think we see it in our school's lack of school spirit. We see it in hardworking students falling asleep in class. And we even see it in some of our own friends who have been hospitalized due to overwhelming stress. Exorbitant stress has many debilitating effects. Not only does it negatively affect our health, it takes the fun out of learning, taking an intellectually stimulating experience and transforming it into a dreadful, seemingly automated one. It can isolate us, make us feel inadequate, and can make hard work seem unrewarding and purposeless. This is not a time to make goodwill gestures, to seriously confront this issue and make our community a better place. Our task is to help replace unnecessary, detrimental stress with balanced lives and the best high school experience. In the Newton South Senate, today, here and now, we are declaring an unconditional war on stress in Newton South High School. Ask my fellow senators, my fellow students, faculty council, the administration, and others of the Newton South community to join me in this valiant effort to reduce stress among our students. But let me be clear, this is not a war on stress in all its forms, for there is such a thing as healthy amounts of stress. But there is absolutely not a place for harmful stress. Nor is this a war on any individual or group of individuals, nor is it a war on the integrity of our academics. Our goal is not to create a less academically vigorous school, but to create a healthy community. And I can assure you that none of us here advocate stress reduction at the expense of quality education. Our goal is to improve the educational experience of our students, not to curtail their right to opportunity, for greater opportunity is what we seek to create. This is a war a school of our caliber can afford to win. It is a war that we cannot afford to lose. In the Senate, we will not rest until that war is won. Every year that passes by that we do not address this issue in a meaningful way is an opportunity loss. From faculty to student, we all have a part to play in winning this war. This war will not only be won in this lecture hall in the office of Newton South, but in the classroom, on the track field, and in the theater. We must make the effort to innovate and create smart stress reduction policies. We'll take a community and cooperation that word entails to see successful development and implementation. We must arm and train our students with the skills that help them help themselves, as soldiers are trained to fight in a war. Today we have 5 policy initiatives that we have developed to put on the table as a path to victory. First, Newton staff should begin offering stress-related seminars, particularly for incoming students. In these seminars, students should be taught the study skills, the time management skills, the stress management skills, and the other basic skills necessary to become successful Newton staff students. Second, I believe we need to create spaces for our students to study after school within the school. I propose the extension of our school's library's hours. We should have a system where students serious about their learning can register for a certain amount of hours per week to study in the library after school. If the library cannot be made available, then let us create other spaces in the school to serve this purpose. If we expect our students to succeed in one of the hardest curriculums in the nation, then our students deserve the proper study space to succeed. Homes may not always be the most suitable study environment, and access to the Newton Free Library may be difficult, particularly for underclassmen. Our school's library can provide a solution to this problem. Third, we need better policies regarding grade transparency and teacher-student communication. To meet this end, I propose a student-teacher conference program which would occur during midterms, where students will sit down one-on-one with their students to talk about their students' performance in the course. This is not only an opportunity for teachers to give students their grades, but also to communicate their students their strengths and areas to improve on. Not only would this satisfy the stress caused by not knowing one's grades, it would arm students with the feedback necessary to succeed in their education. Fourth, I propose the creation of a J block on Fridays. The purpose of the Friday J block is to move more extracurricular activities to this day after school to free up other J blocks, so students will have more time to meet with their teachers to improve their work. Students should not be punished for giving to their community by choosing to join clubs that occur during J block. No student should have to wait an entire J block to leave without help at the end because of long lines. The addition of a J block on Friday would open up more office hours for students to take advantage of, a necessary addition to reducing stress on student staff. Fifth and finally, I believe it is time to reevaluate the purpose of homework in our school, a conversation which I know has already begun among our school's faculty. Too often our students are burdened with assignments that do not significantly contribute to their learning. That's not to say that all assignments are meaningless, but too many create much stress and little learning. We need to trim unnecessary homework out of the curriculum and begin adding more meaningful assignments to replace them. I don't believe there is any correlation between amount of work and quality of work, and while I do not believe that anyone is at fault for the homework burden in our school, all of us can play a part in addressing these problems. These 5 policies, I believe, are all avenues we need to pursue in the coming weeks, and the Senate will put rhetoric to reality as we journey through the policy-making process to convert our words to actions. But this is only a beginning. Through this process, we still need more ideas, more personal stories, more help, and a commitment to our cause. And that is why we'll need your support in the days, weeks, and months ahead. Now, to borrow some of the language of President John F. Kennedy, something we frequently do here, some may ask why stress. Others may say that this initiative may be doomed from the start because stress is simply too ingrained in our community. But there is no issue that universally burdens students as much as stress. Its effects are detrimental to us all. And its defeat deserves the best of the Newton Staff Senate and the Newton Staff community. And its opportunity for unity, spirit, and cooperation may never come again. But why some say stress? Why choose this as our goal? They may well ask, why climb the highest mountain? Why 50 years ago declare war on poverty? Why does Newton Staff on Thanksgiving play Lincoln Sudbury? We choose to fight stress. We choose to fight stress in this semester and do the other things, not because they are easy, because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills. Because that challenge is one we are willing to accept, one we are unwilling to postpone, and one which we intend to win the others too. The goal of our fight may not be achieved by the end of this semester or by the end of this year, or by the time any of us in this room may graduate. But let us begin. Now the call has been made and the trumpets have been sounded. What is right asks us to move forward, and what is wrong begs us for our attention. Let us have faith in the justice of our cause to end stress, harmful stress, and let us have the resolve to win. Change is real and possible. We can create a healthier community. Believe it. So let's get talking. Let's start discussing. Most importantly, let's get to work. Thank you.